Every month, you're paying about $127 for car insurance, another $80 for gas, maybe $40 or $50 for maintenance you didn't expect. Over 10 years, that's more than $30,000. If you're living on Social Security or a fixed pension, that's not just a number. That's the difference between staying independent and having to ask your kids for help. But the real cost of a car isn't the sticker price. It's what happens in year 6 when the power seat motor fails. Year 7 when the climate control starts clicking. Year 8 when the touchscreen freezes and the repair shop says it'll be $800 to fix. Those premium features you paid extra for, they often become the bills you didn't plan for. Now, Tesla's upcoming Model 2 is taking a different approach. They call it fewer features. And if you're 65 or older, thinking this might be your last car purchase, that idea may matter more than you realize. Today, I'll show you what fewer features really means, not in tech specs, but in your monthly budget. What it removes, what it saves, and whether it protects your independence over the next 10 years. And one quick warning before we continue. This car has not been officially released. Don't send deposits. Don't trust unofficial websites. I'm not here to sell you anything, just to help you understand the real cost before you decide. The Showroom Illusion. Walk into most dealerships today, and the interior is presented like a luxury hotel room. Color-changing ambient lights, seats that adjust in a dozen directions, a massive touchscreen, dual-zone climate control so everyone can set their own temperature. It feels like comfort. It feels like control. It feels like you're buying something that will take care of you. What they don't explain is that all of those features, seat motors, climate actuators, electronic control modules, add up to hundreds of individual components inside the cabin, and every component is a potential repair once the warranty ends. For the first 5 years, everything usually works fine. After that, things start to fail one by one. A seat motor goes out, $500. The climate system starts clicking, another few hundred. A dashboard module throws an error code and no one can clearly explain why, $600 or $700 more. It's rarely one catastrophic bill. It's the slow accumulation. $400 here, $600 there, another repair 6 months later. If you're living on Social Security or a fixed pension, those aren't just repairs, they're decisions. Do you fix it now or put it off? Do you spend the money or adjust your plans? That steady drain is what most people don't see when they fall in love with premium features. And that's the problem Tesla appears to be trying to solve with the Model 2. When the warranty ends. Year 6. A seat motor fails. $520. And that repair might take 3 days. 3 days where you need someone else to drive you places. 3 days where you're dependent. Year 7, the climate control starts making a clicking sound, and the dealership says it's an actuator. $380. You wait 2 weeks for the part. 2 weeks driving with no air conditioning in July or no heat in February. Year 8, one of the electronic modules behind the dashboard loses communication with the main computer. $640, and they can't even tell you why it happened. You drop the car off Monday morning, they call you Wednesday saying they're still diagnosing it. You miss a doctor's appointment. These aren't worst-case scenarios. These are the most common out-of-warranty failures reported by drivers over 65 who own modern compact cars. Here's the part that nobody talks about. It's not one big repair that hurts you. It's the slow accumulation. $400 here, $600 there, $300 6 months later. You start budgeting $50 a month just to be safe, but some years it's more. And when you're living on a fixed income, Social Security, pension, maybe a little savings, every one of those bills is a decision you didn't want to make. Do I fix the seat, or do I wait another year to visit my daughter? Do I get the climate control repaired, or do I just roll the windows down and deal with it? This is what Tesla saw, and it's why they decided to build the Model 2 completely differently. What Tesla is removing. Let's talk about what fewer features actually means, because the way Tesla is describing this is confusing, and the way auto reviewers are covering it makes it sound like you're getting a stripped-down economy car. That's not what's happening. What Tesla is doing is removing the parts that break most often and cost the most to fix after the warranty ends. The seats. In a typical new car today, each front seat has multiple electric motors, one for forward and backward, one for reclining, one for lumbar support, one for height adjustment. Some cars have motors for thigh support, side bolsters, even headrest angle. When one fails after warranty, the replacement part and labor runs $280 to $520 per seat. The Model 2 is expected to use manually adjustable seats with one or two small motors for basic positioning. It eliminates most of those failure points. Fewer repairs you might have to pay for when you're 73. Fewer times you're stuck waiting for parts. Fewer days without your car. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I have back problems. I need those adjustments. And that's fair. If you genuinely need a highly adjustable seat for medical reasons, the Model 2 might not be the right car for you. But here's the reality. Most of those adjustments get set once in the first week and never touched again. The seat goes forward or back, maybe the height changes, and that's it. The other motors sit there unused, waiting to break. The touchscreen. Most Teslas today come with a 15-inch touchscreen. It's big, it's impressive, but it also has three problems. One, it consumes a lot of power, which means the battery works harder. Two, when it fails, the replacement cost is over $1,000, and that's assuming you can get the part. Three, a lot of people over 65 find large touchscreens harder to use, not easier. Small icons, buried menus, no tactile feedback. The Model 2 is expected to use a smaller screen, simpler, easier to navigate, uses less power, and when it eventually needs to be replaced, and every screen eventually does, the part costs half as much. Over 10 years of ownership, that difference compounds. Climate control. Modern cars have what's called multi-zone climate control. Driver sets 68 degrees, passenger sets 72. The system uses multiple separate actuators, little motorized flaps inside the dashboard. Each actuator is another part that can fail, and when they do, the repair bill is significant. And they do fail. HVAC failure is one of the top reasons drivers over 65 bring their cars to the shop after warranty ends. The Model 2 is expected to simplify this. One temperature for the whole cabin, fewer actuators, less complex ductwork, less power draw. But here's the part that really matters. It's not just about the actuators, it's about the control modules. Every modern climate system has electronic modules that communicate with the car's main computer. When they fail, you get error codes, the system stops working, and the fix is expensive because the problem is buried deep in the dashboard. A simpler system means fewer modules, fewer sensors, fewer communication pathways that can go wrong, and critically, less that can mysteriously break. The real savings. Let's talk real money. Not theoretical, not best case. Real numbers based on actual repair data from drivers over 65 who have owned modern compact cars for 7 to 10 years. Over 10 years of ownership, the Model 2's simpler interior could save you between $1,400 and $2,600 in repair costs alone. But let me put that in perspective. Most people I talk to who are thinking about retirement and cars tell me they budget about $50 a month for unexpected repairs, just in case. Over 10 years, that's $6,000 you're setting aside. And here's the thing. With most modern cars, you're going to use a lot of that. The seat motor, the actuator, the module, the screen. With the Model 2, you might not need to reserve that much. That money could stay in your account. That's the difference between staying home and visiting your grandkids twice a year. Let me give you another comparison. If you kept a gas car instead, you'd eventually face a transmission replacement. That's $3,500 to $5,000 when it happens, usually around year 8 or 9. The Model 2 doesn't have a transmission to fail. Or think about alternators, starters, exhaust systems, all things that break on gas cars that electric cars don't have. Those repairs add up fast in your 70s. And here's what nobody talks about. When your car becomes unreliable, when you can't trust it to start, when you're constantly worried about the next breakdown, you start losing independence in ways that don't show up on a repair bill. You stop driving to the store because what if it breaks down? You ask your kids to take you to doctor appointments because you don't trust the car. Eventually, someone suggests maybe it's time to stop driving altogether. Not because you can't drive, because your car can't be trusted. A reliable car isn't just about money. It's about keeping your independence an extra 5 years, and you can't put a price on that. But let's get back to money for a second, because there's one more number that matters. Every time you save power on climate or the screen, you're helping the battery stay healthier longer. And in the used EV market, battery health determines whether you can sell the car at all. A healthier battery means you won't have to discount the car heavily when you sell. So when you go to sell at 75 or 80, that simpler interior has protected your resale value in a way that's invisible until it matters. But there's one more thing, and this is about control, not just cost. The software problem. Modern cars aren't just cars anymore. They're computers on wheels. Almost every function, every seat adjustment, every airflow change, every warning light is controlled by software talking to other pieces of software. The seat moves because a module sends a signal. The climate system responds because sensors feed data into a central computer. Even the speed you see on the screen is processed, translated, and displayed digitally. On the surface, that sounds advanced, and in many ways it is. But it creates two quiet problems most people don't think about until something goes wrong. First, when a modern car has an issue, it's often unclear whether you're dealing with a mechanical failure or a software glitch. The seat stops moving. Is the motor broken, or did a module lose communication? The climate control blows cold air on a warm day. Is it an actuator, a sensor, or just a software error? You take the car in, they plug in a scanner, and sometimes even the technician can't give you a straight answer beyond "it's throwing a code." That uncertainty is stressful, not just because of the money, but because you don't know what's really happening. And when you're 70 or 75, that feeling of not understanding what your own car is doing can be more exhausting than the repair itself. Second, the more features controlled by software, the more dependent you become on updates and systems you can't see. Tesla is ahead of most manufacturers when it comes to over-the-air updates. They can fix bugs remotely, improve efficiency, add features. But updates can also change how the car behaves. You wake up one morning and the layout on your screen looks different. The climate settings respond differently. A new alert appears that wasn't there before. Nothing is necessarily broken, but it feels unfamiliar. And when something you rely on changes without warning, that loss of predictability matters. The Model 2's simpler design may reduce this layer of dependency. Fewer electronic modules mean fewer communication pathways. Fewer communication pathways mean fewer mysterious errors. A manually adjustable seat doesn't rely on software. A simplified climate system has fewer digital control points. A smaller, cleaner interface is easier to navigate when your eyesight or reaction time isn't what it used to be. This isn't about rejecting technology, it's about choosing technology that still feels understandable. As we get older, clarity matters more than complexity.
Simplicity isn't a downgrade, it's a way of keeping control in your hands instead of handing it over entirely to systems you can't diagnose or fix yourself.
The trade-off. So what's the trade-off? Because there is one. Let me be direct. The Model 2 will not feel premium. It will not have the plush interior of a luxury car. The seats won't adjust in 12 directions. The screen won't be as large or as flashy. The climate control won't let you and your passengers set different temperatures. If you walk into a Tesla showroom, assuming they even put the Model 2 in showrooms, and you sit in it next to a Model 3 or a Model Y, the Model 2 will feel simpler, plainer, less impressive. And for some people, that's a deal breaker. If you're someone who values that initial wow factor, who wants the car to feel luxurious every time you get in, the Model 2 is not for you. But if you're someone who's thinking about the next 10 years, who's thinking about what the car will cost you when you're 75, when you're 80, then the question isn't, does this feel premium today? The question is, will this still be affordable and reliable when I'm too old to deal with constant repairs? Because here's the thing about premium interiors. They impress you for about 6 months. After that, you stop noticing the ambient lighting. You stop noticing the 12-way adjustable seats. But the repair bills? Those you notice every time. And the days without your car while it's in the shop? You notice those even more. The other trade-off is customization. With fewer features, there are fewer options to personalize. You can't pick different seat materials. You can't upgrade to a bigger screen. What you get is what everyone gets. And for some people, that loss of choice feels limiting. But here's the other side of that. Less customization means that when something does need to be repaired, the part is standardized. No waiting 6 weeks for a custom component, no dealer markup because your specific trim package is hard to source. Who this car is for. The Model 2 is for you if you're planning to keep this car for 10 years or more. You're not buying it to trade in after 3 years. You're buying it because you don't want to shop for another car again at 75. You want something that simply works year after year without forcing you back into a dealership showroom. It's for you if you're living on a fixed income, Social Security, a pension, retirement savings that need to last. You don't have room in your monthly budget for unpredictable repair bills. You don't want to set aside an extra $100 every month just in case. You'd rather own something designed to avoid those surprises in the first place. It's for you if reliability matters more than luxury. If you've reached a point in life where you no longer care about impressing anyone at a stoplight, you care about starting the car in the morning and knowing it will take you to your doctor's appointment, the grocery store, or your granddaughter's recital without drama. It's for you if independence still matters deeply. If you don't want to call your son because your car is in the shop again. If you don't want to arrange rides or sit in a waiting room for 3 hours over a minor electronic issue. You want a vehicle that quietly supports your life instead of interrupting it. The Model 2 is not for you if you enjoy upgrading every few years. If you like new trims, new screens, new features, the long-term savings won't matter. You'll move on before they show up. It's not for you if you genuinely need highly adjustable seats for medical reasons. If your mobility or back issues require multiple powered adjustments, you should test the car carefully before deciding. Comfort is not something you compromise on lightly. And it's not for you if luxury is part of your daily enjoyment. If the feel of premium materials and advanced features is important to how you experience driving, there's nothing wrong with that. Just be honest about what you value. Comfort today or stability over the next decade.
Fewer features isn't a downgrade. It's a long-term strategy. Over 10 years, the Model 2's simpler design could save you thousands in repairs, protect resale value, and reduce the stress of dealing with complex systems you don't fully control. More importantly, it may help you stay independent, driving yourself where you need to go without unexpected bills quietly draining your retirement savings. So the real question isn't whether the car feels impressive today, it's whether it will still be affordable and reliable when you're 75 or 80. I'd like to hear from you. If you were choosing your last car, would you prefer more features and comfort or fewer features and fewer repair risks? Let me know in the comments. Just type comfort or simplicity. I read every comment. If this helped you think more clearly about that decision, subscribe to the channel. We'll continue breaking down the Model 2, ownership costs, real-world safety, charging readiness, and pricing without hype or pressure, just clear information you can use. And if you know someone who may be buying their last car, share this with them. The decisions we make at 65 affect the next 15 years. Stay independent, stay informed. I'll see you in the next video.